keeping in a shot. I'm actually going to take a picture of that. It was funny because this morning I was like, all right, then let's go through a few before I came, and I knew there were 4 things, and this is the 4th one up. Oh, wow. Hello.
Help us practice that call, anybody?
Young lady in the hat.
Okay.
Come on up. You can stand right in front of Marcia. All right. And what's your name?
Chloe.
Okay, Chloe, we're going to surround you with screech owls here. And I think you're totally enjoying it, so...
I think Chloe has something in common with the little red one.
Oh, what would that be, Chloe? Oh, you're both redheads. Oh, yeah. You're camouflaged with screech owls, Chloe. So, Chloe, this is an owl that sounds like a little horse. So, Marshall will do it, then you can try the call, okay? Okay, give it up for Chloe. That was awesome. Nice job. All right, so these screech owls are probably, if not the most common, certainly the second most common owl in this part of New Hampshire. So I bet they have them right here on the sanctuary at Beaver Brook. Usually during the day they're hard to find though. They're roosting in holes in trees and cavities, so they're usually out of sight down in their cavity. And occasionally you'll see one sitting up in the hole taking a sun bath, particularly in the winter. But during the day they're usually out of sight and they come alive at dusk. And they go out to hunt mice and voles and flying squirrels and insects like moths. So they eat a lot of different things. Now, if you think about this, if a screech owl eats an earthworm, do you think you're going to see anything in the pellet from the earthworm? No, because why? Earthworms don't have bones or fur or feathers, so they totally digest an earthworm. But if they eat a bat, you're going to see a skull and bones from the bat in the pellet. And screech owls can take bats. Yeah. What do we got, the popcorn concession going here? That's pretty new.
This is great.
Yeah, this is like Fenway. Before you know it, the hot dogs and beer. Yeah. All right.
Now,
Already had popcorn?
have any of you seen screech owls outdoors, either in your yard or in a tree somewhere? Anybody?
I've got a question for the audience. How much do you think a screech owl weighs? Raise your hand if you have an idea. Okay, number 87. What do you think? 3 pounds is a good guess, but it's way too much. What do you think? 1 pound, still too much. What do you think?
Half.
What's less than 1? Go the other direction. Go lower. 0? You're saying screech owls? Oh, okay. Say it again.
1/2 of a pound.
You're the closest. They're about 6 to 7 ounces. So just under half a pound. But when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Not only are they small, but what are they covered with? Feathers, lightweight feathers. And what about birds' bones? Olivia knows, right?
Hollow.
What about their bones? Okay, I'll get back to you with your question.
They're hollow.
Hollow bones. Olivia has a question. Go for it.
If they eat a bat, do they eat the bat's wings?
That's a good question. I think there's not a lot of meat on those wings, and they might not eat the wings. I've seen a merlin eating a bat. A merlin's a type of falcon. I've never seen an owl eat a bat. That's a good question. I don't know if they would eat the wings. I don't know. No one's ever asked me that in 25 years. That's a good question. I'll have to do a little research on that.
It's always the first one. Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions?
All right, question up front.
Do they eat other animals?
Yeah, they can eat other owls sometimes. Like a big owl can eat a little owl. Yeah, so a great horned owl or a barred owl could eat a screech owl. So
Yeah.
they know that. They know they're on the menu for bigger birds, so they got to be careful. Question up front.
What if they eat big birds?
Well, a little screech owl can't eat a big bird. They can't eat a bird that's bigger than them.
I mean a bigger owl.
You mean a bigger owl eats them?
Yeah.
No, I mean like bigger than them, but they're like eating a bigger owl, like eating a bigger owl.
You mean they eat a bigger owl? Or who eats it?
I'm saying that medium-sized one eats a big one.
No, it works the other way. The big one eats the medium-sized one. The
Right.
medium one doesn't eat the big one. The big one eats the medium one.
Big predators eat small
The
predators.
little one.
Yeah, you got it now. The medium one eats the little one, right.
Well, Mark, I think it's time that we met this mystery raptor.
Okay.
Oh, I want
Okay, so make sure you look at the shape of this next bird and compare it to the shape of the owls. Whoa. Are we bringing threads and towels out with us? All right. Wow. Ooh, listen. A falcon, right, exactly.
Do you know what kind of falcon? Do
I don't know.
you have a guess?
Peregrine?
Peregrine falcon is this bird's cousin, big cousin.
Does anybody recognize what kind of a falcon
This is our littlest falcon. It's not an Atlanta falcon, no. I can tell you're not into sports, right?
Mark, how about off to your left in the front row?
Who has a guess? Yes. What do you think? You're again. Okay. It's an American kestrel. Someone had it over
Yeah,
here.
somebody's had it.
Yeah, American kestrel. And if you look at the wings, they're pointed. They're pointed. She's getting all twisted here. Okay. So she's built to fly fast. Unlike owls, most owls are built to fly with maneuverability. Falcons are built for high-speed flight, and she flies fast. She can hover over a field. She can catch dragonflies. She can catch grasshoppers, mice. So they feed on a lot of different things. Here in New Hampshire, they're a rare nester, but we see them migrating through New Hampshire this time of year. But look at the shape. She's got a small head on a relatively big body, whereas owls have big heads on big bodies. So owls' heads are as wide as their body. Hawks, eagles, and falcons, their heads are not as wide as their body. What about raptors? Well, both owls and hawks are raptors.
And raptors are birds that catch their food with their feet.
Using their sharp talons.
Right.
Yeah. So this is a female, and if you look at her wing, you can see it's rusty brown with black barring, and that tells us it's a female. If this was a male, it would be bluish gray on the wing with black barring. So we can tell the gender easily, but with screech owls, forget about it. Males and females look about the same. Yeah, they're very hard to tell apart without a blood test. We have a question back here. I'm going to come back and get it. I'll be back. All right. What's your question? Can you remember?
Do they eat rats?
Do they eat rats? A small rat. Yeah, they could eat a small rat. But a big rat would weigh more than this bird would. So yeah, they got to be careful. They don't want to grab a big adult rat.
And they'll also, excuse me, did you mention that they eat dragonflies and crickets and grasshoppers?
One of the ways they hunt is pretty interesting. This bird can see ultraviolet light. We can't. But you're probably thinking, big deal, it can see ultraviolet light. Well, when mice are running around in the field, they urinate. In other words, they pee. And guess what pee reflects? Ultraviolet light. So this hawk, this falcon, can follow the urine trails of rodents by looking at the ultraviolet light. You can see where the mice are hanging out.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a living, right?
How about that for an adaptation?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, question here.
The black strips.
Why do they have the black stripes? Well, one theory is, you know how football players put that black stuff under their eyes for reflection reduction, you know, glare, cut the glare. You know how Tom Brady puts that stuff on? Well, falcons and some owls invented it long before Tom Brady was born. So that it probably cuts down on reflection. And if you look at the falcon's nostrils, both this bird and a peregrine falcon have specially designed nostrils that can still work at high speeds. You know, if a peregrine's diving at 220 miles an hour, regular nostrils wouldn't work. They wouldn't be able to breathe, but they have specially designed nostrils that can pull air even at high speeds, which is pretty cool. Like a race car, yeah.
So we don't have many kestrels around anymore. They used to be very common when we were both growing up. They would sit on telephone lines and hunt over fields, and the reason they've declined is not quite certain. We think it might have something to do with rodenticides. You know, if you've got a mouse in the house and you put out mouse poison, it doesn't exactly kill the mouse right away. It wanders around.
Maybe acts kind of sick and makes an easy meal for a hawk or an owl or a coyote or a fox. And guess where the poison's going to go? Into the owl or the hawk or the coyote. So here's what you do. If you have a rat or a mouse you need to get rid of, and sooner or later we all do, use a snap trap. Good old-fashioned snap trap. You can bait it with peanut butter, unless you're allergic to peanuts. And if peanut butter works, great. And you kill the rodent right away. You don't poison an owl or a hawk. And you can catch lots and lots of mice. I know because since August 24th, I've been trapping mice, and I've caught 25 so far. Yeah. So it works like a charm. What's that? Can I put the mouse in the meadow? I do. Yeah, the coyotes eat it. Yeah, it's good food. Yeah. All right, so they go on the compost heap. I'm going to tuck her back in. She actually, did she get her mouse yet? Did she?
No.
Okay. We've got a mouse to give her to eat at some point because she's going to have lunch.
Of course, she is a daytime hunter, and the owls are nighttime hunters. Of course, nighttime hunters we call what? Nocturnal. But what do we call daytime active? Diurnal, right. And so the kestrel and the hawks and the eagles and the falcons are diurnal raptors. Okay, so we're going to move up in owl size, glove size. Whitewash size, although we haven't seen any yet.
But we will.
Pellet size.
There's few things I can guarantee, and whitewash is one of them. We are going to see some. So this next owl is probably the most common owl in New Hampshire.
And you did mention this.
No, we actually didn't talk about it.
Oh, okay. This is a birdhouse for screech owls.
And kestrels.
And kestrels.
And so if you can put one of these up in your neighborhood or yard, you might get a family of screech owls, or uncommonly kestrels nesting in one of these. They're fun to build. 6 pieces of wood, 4-inch hole, put it up about 10 or 12 feet, and you put aluminum flashing around the tree so the raccoons can't climb and eat the babies.
And I think that they have had nest box building workshops here at Beaver Brook. Either that or they're going to. So I've
But anyway, this next owl is the barred owl, most common owl in New Hampshire. Beautiful, big owl, dark eyes, rounded head.
And we have a pellet in here. A little bit bigger.
Anybody want a close-up of the pellet on their phone? You put that on Facebook, you get a lot of likes. I'm telling you, this could go viral, baby. Yeah. Oh, he wants it. See, he knows. Yeah. I bet you have 1 million followers here shortly.
So the barred owl is not the barn owl. This is B-A-R-R-E-D. Here are the bars that give the barred owl its name. These are stripes that run up and down here. And right now I've got my finger in the owl's left ear, right here. And we'll talk about owls' hearing in a moment. But I bet a lot of you are hearing that. Who's hearing that? Okay, who wants to come up and help us practice that call? How about young lady back there in the blonde? Yeah, come on up.
Okay. You can come right up and sit next to Marcia. Okay, and what's your name? Melanie, have you heard one of these in the wild?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you hear one last night, or when did you hear it?
Just when I'm waiting at my bus stop,
All right.
I hear sometimes, I just hear some.
That's like the best bus stop ever, huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good. So Melanie, have you ever hooted back to one?
Yeah, I've tried.
Did they answer you?
Yeah.
All right, so this should be a piece of cake for you, because you have experience in this. The barred owl, some of you may know, sounds like it's saying, "Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all?" Just like he said, yeah.
Who said that? All right.
Young man there.
And, you know, we're not making this up. He knows about it. If you look up barred owl in a good old bird book like we have here, any of you have bird books?
I know those of you with smartphones don't know what a book is, but this is a bird book.
They don't take batteries,
Yeah.
you know, long shelf life. And it'll say, who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all? So I'll do the 8 notes and you can do it, okay? All right, nice job, but you're not done yet. Because as you probably know, sometimes they mix it up or they just do the last 2 notes. They go, hoo-ah, hoo-ah, hoo-ah. All right,
I like
nice
the hand
job.
motion. She had it down. That was really good. Yeah. Nice job. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, nice job. So the barred owl is one of our 2 big owls. Normally they have a 3-foot wingspan.
You'll notice this bird's right wing is not acting too well. It's actually been injured a long time ago, got hit by a car about 3 or 4 years ago. And this bird was brought to a rehabber, and they tried to fix the wing, get it to heal, but it didn't heal properly, and this bird cannot fly. So that's the bad news. The good news is he has a girlfriend, and she can't fly either. So she's 20, and he's 3 or 4. But age doesn't really matter when you're a bird.
She did have partner that was the same age as her, and we lost him a couple of years ago.
They lived together for 18 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she mourned when he passed. She mourned for a couple weeks. And then we brought in the new guy, and she jumped ship. Yeah. Yeah. So they're happy together now.
So in captivity, a lot of these birds can live a lot longer than they might in the wild because they get fed every day. They don't have to worry about predators. They have all their needs met, medical needs.
We didn't talk about ages on the screech owls.